Aloha, welcome back. Today we're going to do an interview with Asher Edelman, a of Asher Edelman. He's going to
Our
talk
sit
about the
down to the
velocity of
godfathers of Wall
money.
Street continue with a man who spent 30 years purchasing and selling distressed companies. Soon after, Asher Edelman chronicled his strategy by teaching a course at Columbia entitled Corporate Rating, The Art of War. Then after leaving Wall Street, he made his mark on high-end investing and established Edelman Arts in New York City. He joins us here at
So this was put out 8 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was before the 2016 election when he did the interview.
the NASDAQ. Asher, it's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
You say that we are currently in a recession. Every Fed official who speaks to us tells us we are not in a recession. What are they missing?
I think it's pretty straightforward. The average American has not had an increase in pay in 15 years, but things have cost more in the marketplaces. He has been in a recession for 15 years. Nothing's changed for him. Up at the top, we're not in a recession. But 80% of the Americans have been in a recession for at least 15 years.
So how does that translate into investing into the stock market? Is it that it's a recession that seems like nobody realizes we are in one, and certainly nobody realizes we've been in one
Who's
for
your
15
nobody?
years?
Who is your nobody?
Okay, I like it.
I think the broader investing public, if you polled anybody on the street or anybody on this desk
Well,
right here.
it sounds like you're talking more about financial oppression than you are in economic decline. I mean, I get the fact that a lot of people aren't doing as well because
They don't even
structurally
get it
society isn't rewarding
at
them
all.
the way
Like,
they should.
they're like,
I'm
"What do
not
you
going to
mean?"
get into that.
That's a social issue. I'm talking about money and economics. People can buy less for what they have now than they could 15 years ago. In their lives, that's a recession.
He's just straight up.
Okay, so how about the broader economy, though? How about the labor market that
They're like, well,
continues
what about
to
us rich
tighten in the
people?
United States and in Japan and in Europe? And everyone's going to tell me that's a backward leading indicator. But right now, I see a job market that tells me that the service sector is more than making up for manufacturing and commodity.
And you are, of course, aware that we have fewer people as a percentage of the population employed today than we did in 2007.
Yes.
Okay? Well,
But you tell
what's
me
that
the
about
but
a
is
job
the labor
market?
market worse?
Yes, it is.
So-
And then if you take into account the people who are working in McDonald's who used to run a computer for somebody else, it's even worse than that.
So let's say you're back on Wall Street today. How would you express those views in investing or in any other way when it comes to money and investing?
My view was always very straightforward. If you could buy control of a company or close to control of a company where the hard assets are worth 2 times the stock price, you could then work out something to do from there. That's what I'd be doing.
Are there sectors that you look out at right now and think, if I were still in the game, this is an area that I would go after?
Yeah, I look at some distress, mainly in Europe today, but I look at distress, yeah.
In Europe.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the presidential elections. I'm curious, we're asking everybody essentially who you think the best candidate for the economy would be.
Bernie Sanders.
Without a doubt. Why is that?
No question.
Left wing.
Well, I think it's quite simple again. If you look at something called velocity of money, you guys know what that is, I presume. That means how much gets spent and turns around. When you have the top 1% getting money, they spend 5-10% of what they earn. When you have the lower end of the economy getting money, they spend 100 or 110% of what they earn. As you've had a transfer of wealth to the top and a transfer of income to the top, you have a shrinking consumer base, basically, and you have a shrinking velocity of money. Bernie is the only person out there who I think is talking at all about both fiscal stimulation and banking rules that will get the banks to begin to generate lending again as opposed to speculation.
Okay.
So
Asher,
from an economic point of view, it's straightforward.
Straightforward from an economic point of view. Let's see, Bernie talking about the oligarchy already back in the day. But yeah, see, so they kicked him out. The Democrats kicked him out. They don't want velocity of money. They don't want left-wing politics. They want, what you call it, those rich guys. Dang, how about Elon Musk and them? So when Elon Musk has all this money, he doesn't spend it. He keeps it out. He's holding economies worth of money out. The dude got $250 billion. You take the top 8 billionaires together, they're holding out 2 or 3 economies worth of money. Like, we would be spending that on cars, houses, food, all kinds of stuff, each other, coaches. For your kids, you could be doing more sports and all kinds of stuff, better education, anything, whatever. But they keep the money out of the system. And I just want to get that out there for you guys, because I try to look at things from across the spectrum.